What is good, YouTube? Welcome back to the channel. I'm Toxin Gaming. Today I actually have a brand new deck profile for you today of a deck I just started testing last night. Like, I built it last night and then I started testing it today. It's actually a lot of fun to play and it's really good. And so if you guys are like into like these like nostalgic monsters like Dark Magician, this would be like a really fun deck for you to play. And I've been testing against meta decks and it's doing very well. Like, I played against XYZ today, which is a deck you're going to be showcased with it. I was playing playing it against Moss last night. Does very well against that because of our side deck techs. Like, this deck is actually really good. I highly recommend it if you're looking for something fun to try out. But without further ado, I'm going to jump right into this deck profile. The skill we're playing Switcheroo, and this card's insane because you once per turn, twice per duel, you can take a card out of your hand, shuffle it into your deck, and draw a brand new card. That's actually really cool. It pretty much anytime you clog your hand with your Dark Magicians and not your Magician Curtains, you can actually shuffle your Dark Magician back into your deck, and then what that does is the skill does is it allows you to draw a brand new card, trying to get into your curtains as fast as possible and getting your dead Dark Magicians out of hand. But we're playing 2 Dark Magician in the main deck. We're not playing 3, and the reason why is because it becomes way too cloggy at 3. I was playing at 3 to start, and then I was noticing, like, every single time I was getting, like, 2 copies to hand. And it's like, I can Switcheroo 1, but I can't Switcheroo 2 because Switcheroo can only be used twice per duel, once per turn. So I opted to just play the 2 Dark Magician. Obviously, we're playing the Arcana artwork because that's the best artwork. Um, Continuing on the list, it's a spellcaster deck. It's really cool. We're playing the Apprentice package. So 3 Apprentice, 2 Old Vindictive. You don't know what Apprentice does. When it's destroyed by battle and sent to the graveyard, you can special summon Old Vindictive or another Apprentice Magician from your deck face down defense position. And it also has an added effect where it says, if this card's summoned, you can target a face-up card in the field that can have a spell counter on it and place a spell counter on it, which pairs really well with our Breaker to the Magical Warrior, which isn't a once per turn effect. Says you can detach a I about said a material, a spell counter from it, and then pop a card on the field, essentially turning it into a twin twister with an Apprentice Magician. Old Vindictive Magician is really cool. It's a Man-Eater bug for the deck, and the only difference is that you have to target a monster your opponent controls. Man-Eater bug is any monster on the field. Going on to our spell lineup, it's just triple Magician's Curtain. This card is like your bread and butter of the deck. You pay 1,000 life points, or half your life points, my bad, not 1,000. You pay half your life points, and then you special summon Dark Magician from your deck. So that's why we have Switcheroo to put it back into the deck. Not only that, but like you can't normal summon. That's like the downside. You can't summon any other monsters that turn except normal set. So you can only set cards that turn. So if you flip summon your Old Vindictive that turn, you're actually not able to use your effect to summon out the Dark Magician. So keep that in mind when you're playing this deck. Old Vindictive is like a really cool card with this deck because you activate Dark Magic Curtain, and then what you do is you summon out your Dark Magician, then you send your Apprentice or your Old Vindictive face down, and it's essentially giving you another monster. The other cards we're playing are Book of Moon. This card's insane. I'm playing it at 2 in this deck. I feel like that's correct right now, especially because I want to keep this at a 20 card deck. That way I'm not like clogging or breaking or anything like that. So 2 I feel like is the perfect number for this. It's just a quick play spell that changes 1 monster on the field to face down defense position. The other 2 cards are moving on to a trap lineup. We're playing 2 Floodgate Trap Hole. This is also in here for the XYZ matchup, mainly the XYZ matchup, because this deck and another matchup that it's good against if we don't have Dark Magician out and we're relying on our breakers is the Spellproof matchup, because this can hit the big birds in the Blowback Dragon and set them face down. So this is a really good card. Lastly on our list is Zoma the Spirit. This card's really cool. It shouldn't be in this format. I think I said that in my last video. I even said it to the guy I was testing against a little bit today. This card should not be in this format. But Zoma the Spirit's really cool. It summons to your field as a monster with the restriction not being able to summon the turn. Like, being able to summon on your opponent's turn is really nice. Moving on to our side deck, we're playing 1 Old Vindictive Magician. This is for the Spellproof matchup. We just side out an Apprentice Magician, put in an Old Vindictive Magician. This allows us to actually out our opponent's monsters due to monster effects instead of spell and trap card effects. You could also just take out a Book of Moon instead for the Old Vindictive Magician. But I like keeping my books in my deck to protect ourselves from our opponent's own Floodgate Trap Holes and their Zoma the Spirits. So that's why I usually keep books in that deck. We also play 2 Cosmic Cyclone in this list. The reason why is because Parasite is still as strong as ever. You just use Cosmic Cyclone, get rid of or banish the Parasite. It doesn't get the Moss out. It's like the perfect combo piece to get out of that. And Using this is a little bit weird with this deck because like your Dark Magic Curtain is you know, having your life points by 2,000. So you 9 chances out of 10 you're only gonna be able to use one unless for whatever reason you like game it, like game your Dark Magician Curtain for the first time, and then you could possibly use two. But yeah, going on into the list, we have Soul Release as one in our side deck. This card's just for the Viral Infection deck. That's a deck I haven't tested against at all, but I can only imagine how bad this deck would do against it. A 3,000, I think, defender that you can't climb. No, it's 2,800 defender that you can't climb, really, and the deck has no real ways to, like, out monsters that have, like, high defense power. So, outside of, you know, the old Vindictive Magician. And then lastly, we have Double Lost to Win, which I feel like should be in every side deck right now. XYZ is the best deck in our game, and if you don't play this card against the best deck in the game, then what are you doing, you know? But without further ado, I'm going to showcase you the XYZ matchup I had. Like I said, it's the best deck in the game, and playing this like weird roguish deck is like really cool to like see how it does. But yeah, without further ado, let me just jump right into that. Alright, so we're playing against this guy called Cosmojo. I'm pretty sure I played against him one time before, but I'm not exactly sure. But yeah, he was really cool. I had a lot of fun playing against him. This is actually the second game we played against each other while we were showcasing, or while I was testing this deck. But we're going to show both. And yeah, he's playing, like I said, the XYZ matchup. Pretty much draws bonkers. Like, drawing a Foolish with any piece is kind of crazy in that deck. But we make him go first because we wanted the die roll. He sets the Y Dragon Head, sets the book, and then passes turn. We draw for turn using the Dark Magic Curtain, and this is going to bring out the Dark Magician. We then set the Floodgate face down, and then set the Apprentice Magician face down. He uses the book here, and that's going to set our Dark Magician face down, and then we're going to pass turn off to the opponent. He draws into the Union Scramble, which is like the bread and butter, banishes both materials, and then summons out the YZ Tank Dragon, to which we have to Floodgate it here, or he's just going to destroy our Dark Magician. On the end phase, we draw for turn, drawing into our other Floodgate, using Switcheroo to put back an Apprentice Magician and draw a card, drawing into the other Dark Magic Curtain, flipping the old Vindictive Magician to pop the YZ Tank Dragon, and then setting the Floodgate Trap Hole. We then flip our Dark Magician face up, and then set our Apprentice Magician face down. Going into battle phase, we actually attack for 2,500 directly into the opponent, and then 450 directly into the opponent as well. But he's going to Union Scramble here for our attack declaration of the old Vindictive Magician, getting both of his Union monsters back to the field. He draws for turn, drawing into the Union Hanger, activates it, and successfully gets 2 cards to hand. Or, you know, not 2 cards to hand, but 1 card to hand, and then, you know how it goes. He gets 2 cards off of 1 here. Foolishing the X-Head Cannon to the graveyard. This will allow him to Union Combination into the XYZ Dragon Cannon. Luckily, we drew the Floodgate last turn, and so we're going to be able to Floodgate that out of the game. The opponent then battles into the old Vindictive Magician, and then passes the turn off to us. We don't take damage that turn because he used Union Combination to bring out his Fusion monster. We draw into the Apprentice, we set the Apprentice, we use the Switcheroo to shuffle back the Dark Magic Curtain, and then draw into the Dark Magic Curtain. That's like one of the worst things about the skill, is that the chances of you drawing into the same card you just had. We're going to attack to make him lose the Z Metal Tank to the graveyard, and then we're going to pass the turn off to the opponent. He draws into the Book of Moon. He banishes the Union Scramble, getting back the X-Head Cannon, and then summons the X-Head Cannon using the Union Combination, and then he gets rid of all 3 materials to summon the XYZ Dragon Cannon. Using its effect here, he discards 1, and then pops the Apprentice Magician, attacking into the Dark Magician. We draw for turn, drawing into the Book of Moon, standby phase, and then pass them on to the opponent. Opponent draws into the Offerings to the Dooms, use the XYZ Dragon Cannon to pop our Spell of Trap card, which is the Book of Moon, which we set for the bait of the discard. That way we can get our old Vindictive Magician to the field. He attacks into the Apprentice Magician, we use the Apprentice here, and then this gets the old Vindictive to the field. We draw for turn, uses the old Vindictive to pop the XYZ Dragon Cannon. Because we flip summoned, we can't use our Dark Magic Curtain, but we also know that our opponent can't draw this turn because he used, or wait, our opponent can't draw this turn, my bad. So he sets the Floodgate Trap Hole, passes turn back to us, and we draw into the Zoma. So this is really good for us. We're able to switch the old Vindictive to defense mode, activate the Dark Magic Curtain, and then summon the Dark Magician back. But it gets Floodgated, so that's unfortunate, but it happens. We set the Zoma here, and then pass turn off to the opponent, who gets the Sphere Kribo. And turn here, we set Book, and then this just goes into a past game, you know? Like, there's nothing I can really do at this point, and so I just end up decking myself out. I always play those out. You never want to not play it out because your opponent could also just like scoop 2 before you even scoop. So you always play it out until you get to the last card in your deck. We just, he sets the Y Dragon Head, sets the Union Scramble, passes turn. We use the Dark Magic Curtain, paying 2k life to bring back the Dark Magician. We have insane trap cards this game, so we set all 3 of our trap cards face down, and then set the Old Vindictive Magician, and attack into the defense monster. Passing turn off to the opponent, getting the Union Hanger, using the Union Hanger, and then that gets him, all of his pieces that he needs. Y Dragon Head to hand, summons the Y Dragon Head, equips the Z Metal Tank. You know how it goes. We've seen this 1,000 times. Banishing both materials is going to bring out the YZ Tank Dragon, to which what we do is we floodgate it here. That way he doesn't, discard and then pop our Old Vindictive Magician. We draw for turn, set the Book of Moon, and then battle into the, the Tank Dragon. Uses the Union Scramble here, summons back both the pieces, but I don't believe, he Union Hangers and equips the Z Metal Tank here. He draws into the Book of Moon, banishes his materials, and summons the YZ Tank Dragon, to which we just Book of Moon it. Just want to make sure he's not, popping Old Vindictive. He uses his Union Scramble and Graveyard to allow him to get his Y Dragon Head back. Summoning the Y Dragon Head, he banishes both of his cards, and then, he doesn't have the third YZ Tank Dragon because this is on the field and his other one is set. So, he wasn't able to do with the play he wanted to do there. He sets the Book of Moon face down though, and then battles into the Old Vindictive Magician, which is now able to pop his YZ Tank Dragon. Passing turn off to us, we draw into the Floodgate Trap Hole, which gives us 1 Lost Win and 1 Lost Win, 1 Floodgate, and 1 Zoma on the field. We enter into battle phase and then attack into the Y Dragon Head, making the opponent lose 1,000 life points, and then the turns pass off to the opponent. X-Head Cannon is summoned, using the Union combination here, banishing all 3 of the materials to get out the XYZ Dragon Cannon. To which point we allow him to discard the card from hand, but we Lost Wind it. Book of Mooning the Lost Wind XYZ Dragon Cannon, and then successfully destroying the Dark Magician. Drawing for turn, we draw into the Old Vindictive Magician. We set the Old Vindictive and then pass turn off to the opponent. Draws into Obelisk the Tormentor, flips the XYZ Dragon Cannon, but we Floodgate Trap Hole with it face down. We draw into the Break of the Magical Warrior, use the Old Vindictive to pop the XYZ Dragon Cannon, battle into the opponent, and then makes the opponent lose 450 life points. The opponent draws for turn, drawing into the Sphere Kribo, banishes all 3 materials again, and then summons the XYZ Dragon Cannon. He uses the Dragon Cannon's effect. Or he actually doesn't, he just passes turn. So we get our Lost Win back here, and then draw into the Dark Magician. We use Switcheroo here, and draw for the Apprentice Magician and set it face down. Opponent draws into the Union Hanger, activating it, but he has no targets in deck. He then ends turn off to us, to which we draw into the Zoma. We use the Switcheroo here, putting the Zoma back into deck, and then drawing into the Dark Magician. We end our turn, and our opponent passes, uses the XYZ Dragon Cannon, and then tries to target the Breaker, but we Lost Wind it. We draw for turn, drawing into the Breaker, having to pass the turn there because we can't do anything in this situation, and we draw for turn again, activating the Book of Moon, setting the Old Vindictive Magician face down so we can flip summon it to pop the XYZ Dragon Cannon. We then tribute or use Breaker of the Magical Warrior to pop the Union Scramble, which he uses its effect to special summon all 3 materials back. We tribute off both of our monsters to summon the Dark Magician, enter into battle phase, and then attack the X-Head Cannon, but he ends up Sphere Kriboing it. He ends up tributing all 3 monsters for Obelisk the Tormentor, and then sets the Union Scramble face down, attacking into the Dark Magician here and ending turn. I draw into the Dark Magical Curtain here, and then what I do is I just set the Break of the Magical Warrior and pass turn. He uses Union Scramble to get 2 materials back from his Banish card zone, and then draws for turn to the Foolish Burial. Battling into the Breaker, and then attacking us directly with the Obelisk the Tormentor, we're going to use the Zoma the Spirit to summon it in defense mode. Setting the other Zoma, we use the Magical Curtain, forgetting that I used both my Dark Magicians, and then pass turn off to the opponent again. Drawing into the Book of Moon, he attacks into the Zoma the Spirit, making him lose 2,000 life points, and then attacks again with the Obelisk the Tormentor, summoning out the Zoma the Spirit. But because he drew into the Book of Moon, of course he draws the out that turn, but it happens. Uses the Book of Moon onto the Zoma, and then proceeds to attack directly for game. But yeah, if you guys saw, we held our own both games. Game 1 and 2, we did really well. A misplay I feel like I did in this game in particular is I didn't summon my Zoma fast enough. If I would have summoned my Zoma the turn that I was Like, if I would have summoned my Zoma a turn sooner, I feel like I would have been in a much better situation than what I was in. But, oh well, life goes on, and, you know, we live and we learn. Maybe you guys can learn from my mistakes too. But if you like this kind of deck profile, you like these nostalgic decks actually being able to compete in this format, make sure you leave a like on the video. And if you like me, make sure you subscribe. And above all else, I want you all to stay awesome and have a great day. Alright, bye-bye.